Hey Geminis, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of May, general reading here. So in the meditation, I saw a stag, beautiful stag in a sunny meadow, the whole nine, walking through this meadow. And then I saw it take its, and I feel like the stag, by the way, is the Gemini collective personified in stag form. And I saw the stag remove its antlers and put them down on the ground, and then I saw it jump off of the side of this like low cliff, and then it was, below the cliff. It had landed, its antlers were left, on top of the cliff, and it was down there, and it looked like a doe without its, antlers, but it felt like a weight had been lifted by removing the antlers. And I saw this stag without its antlers lay down in this meadow, and all of these flowers began to grow on top of it, and just completely embodied in flowers and really sinking into the earth. And I saw the word regeneration. Then I saw the stag, after some time had passed, I felt like, get up, go back up to the top of the cliff, put its antlers back on. And then it just shone and it gleamed so brightly. The antlers were like new and sparkly and strong and fortified. And it felt like the stag was just like a regenerated version of itself, renewed, reinvigorated, stronger than before. Stronger because it took the time to, it really felt like the antlers were a symbol in this particular context, right? Animal medicine form, stag's antlers are its direct connection to spirit. But in this particular context, it felt like the antlers were a symbol of responsibility, of power, of strength. And it felt like by taking those antlers off and allowing itself to be vulnerable, allowing its head to just be a little bit, less encumbered with the weight of it, right? It was able to regenerate and then come back bigger and better than ever. So that's really interesting. I'm very intrigued to see what comes up. So let's go ahead and see what your cards have to say. Hey Gemini, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of May. What is going on for Gemini? First half of May. Oh, wow. That was a weird flip-flop. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. So let's talk. First of all, we got the raccoon here. As you can see, earth energy, kind of like the stag. What's interesting about the raccoons, this is okay. Let's talk. So the raccoon equates to the Six of Pentacles in the Tarot, which is about give and take, reciprocity, and support. Either you supporting others and or them supporting you. Now, what's very, very interesting about this in this context is that if we look at the stag animal medicine and we look at the deer animal medicine, right? They represent balanced aspects of feminine energy and masculine energy. And if you think about that meditation, that stag removed its, symbol of masculinity and all of the responsibility and weight that can come with that, right? And then laid it down to rest and allowed itself to be nurtured in a bed of flowers, which is a symbol of femininity, right? It was risking vulnerability by taking off its one source of, defense and attack. Those antlers are basically its greatest weapon, right? Technically speaking, anyway. Was willing to take those off, allow itself to be vulnerable and just be nurtured and regenerated, into Mother Earth by the flowers. And really, in a way, in its feminine form by removing those antlers. So it's interesting, right? Feminine energy is receiving energy, and that stag was receiving benefit from Mother Earth, the gift of regeneration, and also allowing itself to just kind of be without feeling the need to go and do the most, right? So this is really fascinating here, that we have the Six of Pentacles with the raccoon here, and in terms of give and take, and I feel like this has a lot to do with allowing yourself to receive at this time. Always, always good. Also, we are moving towards the end of May, of course, it'll be the next round, but we're moving into the month where your birthday season begins as well, which is really interesting that we're looking at regeneration, because oftentimes your birthday is a time when you reflect and think about, the previous year and what you want to, achieve in this year and all of that. So Interesting how that's coming to light here. And speaking of light, let's talk about raccoon medicine. You know, raccoon medicine is very much about allowing yourself to be seen. It's about the masks that we wear and how we often keep the best parts of ourselves hidden, usually for protection in some way or out of fear of rejection or reprisal or, you know, whatever it is. But we often keep, you know, those aspects of ourselves, those vulnerable aspects of ourselves hidden from others, right? Raccoon is also about using all of the resources at your disposal, right, to your best benefit. That's sort of the power of the raccoon, is that it never goes hungry and it's never without shelter, because it's able to identify potentials for food and shelter in sources and in ways that other animals discard. Right? It's sort of like, oh, you think that that's just trash? Oh, you wouldn't think to use that in this way? Well, let me go over there and show you what that one half of the bottom half of a broken umbrella can actually do. Because it can act as a hook to hold up the, right? It's the way that it sees things, is its true genius. And again, with that aspect of seeing, also seeing oneself clearly, allowing oneself to be seen. Really interesting. Let's see what's going on, Gemini. Let's see what's going on. First half of May. Oh, wow. Wow. It's already so good. Okay, so we have Archangel Michael here. I'm using the Akashic Tarot today. It's a little bit different than traditional tarot, but I think you'll appreciate it. So, number 9, Archangel Michael. This is really perfect because this speaks of strength. Archangel Michael is the patron saint or angel of like policemen, fire people, those in lines of duty that are dangerous in nature. And then Archangel Michael comes in to just protect them, guide them, nurture them. He is the emblem of strength personified. He's also a highly masculine energy. Out of all the angelic entities, he is definitely the most overtly masculine. So it's really interesting that we have Archangel Michael in the woods, no less, coming in to nurture, comfort, and provide for. We also have these 2 little kids down here, right? Symbols of vulnerability. We have this little boy asking, you know, Archangel Michael to pick him up. We have this little girl here, you know, so it's really interesting here that we saw in this meditation these, you know, antlers on the stag, the symbols of vulnerability, allowing itself to just let go of the weight and be nurtured and supplied for. And this is saying that, you know, I feel like this is a sign for you guys that you have all of the strength and help and resources that you need during this time. But I do feel like this is a lot about you allowing yourself to receive, because look at this little boy, you know, looking to receive, right? There's something about that for you. Let's see what else is going on. But again, when Archangel Michael is present, you are being well protected and provided for. Oh my God. Love it already. Okay. So we have 3 of Scrolls, setting your course. If you can see that, it's really nice. So setting your course is very much what it sounds like. Are really about allowing yourself to expand your view, as it were, and look into the long term and say, okay, where do I really want to go from here? This is the opposite of taking it day by day. This is not like, let me just get through this moment and then the next moment, which sometimes is the absolute best way to go. But for this particular time, this is really about thinking a little bit more long term. Doesn't have to be like years and years, but at least looking in the times of like your birth year, right? Like by this time next year, like specifics, right? What A, B, and C could lead to X, Y, and Z if I do, you know, TWS or whatever it is, like arrange those letters accordingly. But that's what this is. It's sort of like these 2 guys planning, looking at this, you know, map here. And then we have the captain here kind of looking out yonder underneath a rainbow, which is also, you know, a symbol of happiness and positive times after a storm. Right? And smooth sailing. But I feel like that's what you're being asked to do, to really look out and consider where you would like to be. And I'm hearing a year from now. And really consider that. But here's the tea. The reason I love that this is coming up in this way is because you're being asked to consider it under calm skies, not on the stormy sea. Don't wait till your boat is out in the middle of a storm and you're like, I gotta make a decision now because my previous situation has, run its course and I gotta like quickly, do this, find another job, find another place to live, figure this out, solve this problem. You are being given an opportunity right now to really consider it while you have the time and the luxury really of time to do so. Right? Do it now while things are a little bit more calm. Do it now. There's something in that for you. And then allow your path to unfold from there, right? But do you see the emphasis on the seeing and the sight and setting your course? Now, what's going to be really interesting is whatever key comes here, because wherever that telescope is pointed towards, there's special emphasis on that. So let's see where you're going. Shall we, Gemini? Do it. Y'all, this is too funny. Look at this. I swear. Remember how I said like the telescope literally pointed toward paths unknown? Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. Literally looking at paths unknown. Oh my God, I just got shivers. Look. Look what's in the corner here. Do you see that raccoon? Do you see the raccoon? Can you see that? Look at the raccoon. Raccoon. Coming up for you. I'm so here for it. Right. Okay, let's talk about it. I'm just endlessly delighted by this. Okay, so paths unknown. It's like, where are you going? Well, we don't know. No, paths unknown. I love that this is in the upright for you. Because look, there are 3 paths here, right? There's this darker path here. It's the fox is standing in front of it, right? And then we have the middle path here. It's a big path, well-lit, well-trodden path where the little squirrel is. And then we have this other path off to the right, a bit mysterious looking. There's a light emanating from that direction that's guarded by the raccoon. She's looking off in this direction, no? Where the raccoon is, going, So this key, 8 of Scrolls, Paths Unknown, is all about, are you wanting to stay the course that you have always taken and made the same choices out of a sense of safe bet or sure thing or the smart choice, quote? Or are you willing to take a completely different path and as a result of doing so, yield different, greater, more wonderful and surprising and exciting things, results, experiences, right? This is Bilbo, y'all. This is Bilbo in The Hobbit, okay? Being like, hey, do you want to go on an adventure? And this is like, no, I'm going to stay to the path that I know and stay, in the Shire and stay with my cheese wheels and my, comforts of home, right? And this path right here where the raccoon is like, you may not be able to see exactly where this path is leading or what will be at the end of it. But it's not about knowing exactly where it's going to end up. It's about you taking a risk and following an unknown path, and in doing so, living your life to the fullest extent possible. Because let me let you in on a little tea. We are not here to live life safely with having all of the answers before us at all times. Where is your sense of adventure? Where is your sense of, I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to take a gamble, I'm going to follow my feelings and my source of excitement, and it doesn't really matter where it leads, because the only thing worse than it leading to somewhere that I may not love is regretting never trying it at all. Let me let you a little something. It is likely going to lead somewhere really great if you're guided to follow that path. When things are calm and skies are sunny. It's when you're in the storm and you're looking at this path going, oh, and you decide to go this untrodden path here, and you're like, oh God, I made that out of fear because I was trying to manifest something more quickly or differently or whatever have you. I was trying to manipulate a situation to my favor because I was desperate and afraid. No, this is sunny skies and calm seas, and you're being encouraged to really consider what could lie before you if you operated outside of your comfort zone, free from fear, and seated in a knowing of, I know that I'm always going to have what I need and that I'm able to manifest a bigger, better, and more abundant and happier and less stressful life than I ever have previously. And all I need to do it is to choose a different path and make different choices along that different path. Right? I cannot tell you how auspicious this is, but I'm laughing so hard to myself because there's an aspect of this where it's like you can't exactly see what it's going to be, but I feel like that's part of the medicine. Spirit is saying, no, we're not going to lay this all out for Gemini, because part of the medicine here is believing in and having that faith and the journey of it, Bilbo. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Do you think that if Bilbo had been shown a magical film by Gandalf before they left on the adventure of exactly what was going to happen, do you think Bilbo would have ever left his front door? Probs not. Right? They're showing me that image of Bilbo when he realizes he's forgotten his handkerchief. He's like, we have to go back, I've forgotten my handkerchief. And, all the dwarves kind of laugh and someone rips off a piece of their dirty tunic and throws it to him. And Gandalf says, yes, you're going to have to be without your comforts for quite some time. There's something about that coming up for you. But I want to ask you, there's this question coming in. Are your comforts that comfortable? Are they? Or are they just familiar? Comfortable and familiar are two different things. Archangel Michael. I love it. Okay, we got Orca energy here, people. With Archangel Michael, we have the Chariot here, beautiful Orca energy. So the tagline of Orca Medicine says, navigate with purpose. Really fascinating here. Also the fact that it's coming in here with Archangel Michael with the strength and the moving forward. I'm being taken back to this stag without the antlers and about allowing yourself to receive. I'm getting with this moving forward and, this oceanic imagery here. I feel like there's a special call to ask for help, ask questions, ask for insights, whatever that is. You can ask for help and advice along this road and path. It doesn't all have to be on you. But in order to ask for that advice and that help, you got to take the antlers off, which are a bit imposing, right? You can't get too close to you because of the antlers there, right? Take them off and allow yourself to be nourished and encouraged and provided for by the people, places, things, and activities and pastimes that really nurture you, right? As you take this movement forward. This isn't about, lying down in the meadow or whatever have you and never getting up and doing anything. It's about doing that and allowing yourself to get all that you need so that you can get up, put those antlers back on your head, and bound off for better than ever, fully regenerated. I feel like there's an aspect here where there's a distinct need for regeneration. Whether that is, actually going into nature and stepping away from the technology, whether that's really eating, I'm seeing those flowers, the greens, eating the live living things plants and fruit and herbs and all of that stuff. Whatever that is for you, it feels like there needs to be a regeneration that happens in order to help you set your course into paths unknown. But it's like we want to just help you out there a bit, right? Because it feels like it's a bit but I'm really fascinated by these two orca fins as well that are on either side of this orca up here. It feels like a support as well, right? It's interesting. And then we have the black and white and the black and white and the double raccoon. Very good. Okay, let's get a clarifier for setting your course. Oh, woo! Let's talk about it. So we got 9 of Pentacles for setting your course. Okay, so definitely related to your work. Let's chat. So 9 of Pentacles is brilliant. It's well, is it? It probably is my favorite pentacle. Well, maybe second favorite next to 10. But anyway, 9 of Pentacles is the key of the entrepreneur. This is someone who works for themselves. This is someone who gets as much out of the work that as they put into it, right? This is someone who is their own boss, who is independent and financially free because of their own efforts. But guess what? In order to be a successful entrepreneur, you first have to believe in yourself and take a risk. You have to take a risk. You have to step out of the safety, just for an example. You have to step out of the safety of a steady paycheck and go and really give it all your own, or give it all you got. I'm seeing an image of, I don't know if you ever watched Shark Tank, but on Shark Tank, one of the first, oh no, it's not Shark Tank. It was the spin-off. It was similar to the Shark Tank, and it was a show that was headed up by Marcus. Anyway, I can't remember the details, but I remember the guy would go to these, you know, entrepreneurs, and all of these entrepreneurs had these fledgling businesses that they were working on, and their hope was to get him to invest in them, right? Kind of like a person-to-person Shark Tank. And one of the first things he would ask before he signed over the check to this entrepreneur, right, would say, are you willing to quit your job? Are you willing to quit your day job and fully commit to this? And he would not sign over that money unless they said, yes, I'm going to quit my day job now. Because he would say, if you have a backup plan, then you will end up needing your backup plan. If you have something to fall back on, you will fall back on it. There's something in that for you, Gemini. There is something in that for you. In terms of like setting your course and an entrepreneur and what you want your independent lifestyle to look like, what is it that how can you invest in yourself, would this question be? How can you invest yourself, and what does that look like a year from now? You're being asked to really consider this while, again, the skies are sunny, okay? I feel like there's change afoot for you. You're just being asked to kind of, from a, within the time frame that is, you know, luxury. Time is a luxury at the moment, right? So this is a good time to do this as opposed to when things, you know, really pick up and it can get a bit overwhelming, right? So this is the time to give thought to this. Paths unknown. So funny. Right. This is exactly what we were saying. So paths unknown with the Four of Cups. So this is exactly what we're saying. Four of Cups is a discontent, wishing things were different than they are, or boredom. If I had a sound effect to go with this key, it would be meh, right? So with the paths unknown, and we're talking about which path to take and needing to know exactly how it's going to turn out before you go down that way, or is it really an adventure if you know how it's going to end? No, not really. What would Bilbo say? All of that good stuff. You know, I am really hearing, because it's interesting how she's got like her hand on her chin. It's like, which way do I go? And it's like, which of these animals are more appealing? The fox, the squirrel, or the raccoon? The raccoon looks shifty by nature, but funnily enough, that is the path that yields the most benefit, the most treasure, the biggest surprise. That's where the light is coming from, right? I feel like this is saying, by doing things as you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. If you want different things, if you want financial stability, if you want clarity, if you want to feel nice and grounded in the woods, right? If you want all of those things, if you want to feel like you're in a place where, you know, you can be rejuvenated and come back, you know, better than ever with a clear head, do things differently. Take that uncharted course. This is the time. I keep getting that image of the stag taking off its antlers to regenerate. This is the time to think about that. The time is now. I don't always say that. Sometimes it's like, oh, this could be for a couple months or the whole month. The time is now, Gemini. There's something about this going into your birthday season that's going, okay, like really, really think about this, because we want you to be in the best position that you can be to make the best choices without fear and with confidence, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get an oracle. Which one? Feeling this one. So I got this new oracle deck by Stephen D. Farmer called the Ancestors Oracle Deck. I'm really loving it. All right, let's see what comes out for y'all. Gemini. God. Lover. I'm so here for this. So listen, love, lover. So first of all, you guys are the Lover's key in the tarot, and we are talking about going into your birthday season. So this is, I feel like, a little kiss from the universe on the nose saying, But I also want to point out the fact that we were talking about receiving and the masculine and feminine energies here. And here we have the feminine's energies, her back to us, and then she's embracing this male energy. Now look how the male energy has his head on her shoulder, allowing himself to receive support and comfort. No? Okay, something about that. You know, this is very much about allowing yourself to really love the aspects of you that are keeping you from being as vulnerable as you can be, because this is about vulnerability. So it's interesting as well. We saw the antlers come off, had to allow itself to be vulnerable in that doe form in order to receive that regeneration and then come back up. And this is about vulnerability. So there's something about allowing yourself to be vulnerable and receive that is within this as well. So I do feel like there's an aspect of, remember we talked about asking for help, asking for guidance, allowing yourself to be supported. There is such power. There is such power. These two orca fins, like holding up this orca. There's such power in saying to another person, or, you know, even to someone who's in a position to like help or listen or whatever it is, or even it's, you know, asking for some sort of like, you know, financial, you know, sort of loan or support, or asking advice around like how to invest it. It's whatever it is, asking for insights or supports outside of yourself, it can feel a bit like, with this key, it can feel a bit vulnerable, and it can feel a bit like defeat, or a bit like, oh, like I wish I didn't have to do that. But because this is Six of Pentacles and we're talking about giving and receiving and reciprocity, this feels really important. It feels like it's a soul lesson that you're here to learn in terms of asking for help. And I you know, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to open yourself up to a deeper sort of connection with and for yourself, as is this lover energy, but also with those around you who love you and want to support you and uplift you, right? Because I feel that there's a look at all this support here in these keys. There's a lot of support here. It's just about, you know, you allowing yourself to be supported. Remember, the deer allowing itself to be supported by Mother Earth. And then as a result of doing so, being bigger and better than ever, being able to turn back around and support those who supported you. But it's a reciprocal energy that if you don't take advantage of it, it becomes stagnant. You become like you have to do everything on your own, and it cuts you off from true intimacy. Okay? There's something in that. The more that you allow yourself to receive, the more that you're able to give. That feels like the whole point. The more that you allow yourself to receive, the more that you will be able to give. Think about it in those terms. I feel like that could really open things up for you. Okay, Gemini? With that being said, I'm sending you many blessings and a very happy almost birthday season. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.